Brian Shaw uploaded a small table practice session with Devon Larratt, and I'll have to admit, he's not looking as strong as I may have expected him to look, or at least not as strong as Devon Larratt told us he's going to look on the table. And towards the end of this video, I'll compare Brian Shaw's practice with Devon with Khalid Jashel's first practice with Devon, and let's compare the strength of these two athletes. In the right-handed practice pull, Devon gives Brian the buckle just like he does to everyone else, and then he allows him to attack a little bit. So we can see that Devon is holding Brian Shaw with purely bicep power. Yes, there is a little bit of pronation added to it, but mostly Devon is holding him with bicep strength. You can see Devon is palm up here, but after the 3-minute mark, there were a couple of instances when Devon applies a little bit of pronation and Brian's wrist immediately goes back. Devon senses that and then he lets go of the pressure, hoping that nobody sees that, especially Eddie Hall, because he does not want him to know any weaknesses that Brian may potentially have. And you can see that Devon doesn't really have too much strain on his face. He's not even showing that he's applying too much power just to hold Brian Shaw. It's kind of easy for him, we all can see that. Not that I expected Brian to pin Devon or something, but Devon should have shown a little bit more expression on his face if Brian was in fact that strong. In the left-handed practice pull too, Brian has the buckle, but this time Devon does not allow him to attack. This time the setup is kind of fair and Devon goes along with Brian Shaw. He doesn't let him start first. Devon knows that his left is not as strong as his right. That's why you can see him shifting his body weight a little bit downwards so that he can have a better position to apply more power if needed. But then soon he realizes that he does not need that much power. He stands back up once again and he lets Brian attack. You can see that Brian has the strength in the center, but as soon as he moves towards the winning side, the pressure kind of goes away and you can see a huge difference. Devon basically can do anything he wants with Brian when he's holding on his bicep, but not so much in the center. There he has to apply a little bit of pressure. And in this pull, you can actually see Devon trying to fake some facial expressions, trying to let Brian Shaw know that he's in fact applying that much power, that much resistance against him. But it wasn't really the case. You can easily see that. Now let's compare this with Khalid Jashel's first practice with Devon. So there are some similarities here and we'll be discussing only the right-handed pull. So Devon allows both of them to start in an advantageous position. He's not in a hurry to pin or even stop any of these in the center. Devon is much stronger now than what he was 4 years ago when he arm wrestled Khalid Jashel. But at the same time, you can clearly see that Devon is applying at least 90% power to hold Khalid, and still it takes him over a minute to take his hand. But against Brian, he's basically giving it maybe 60%, 70%, and he can still take his hand at will without any trouble. So has Devon really gotten 20% stronger since then? Only then these two can be comparable in terms of strength. I'm talking about Khalid and Brian Shaw, because Devon did say in one of the interviews that Brian is stronger than Khalid. I don't believe that to be the case. Khalid may have a little bit struggle in the first one, but after that it will be all flash pins. Devon did say that Brian had the option to switch to a press in the right-handed pull if he wanted to. All of this analysis is going to fail if Brian has some intentions to fake something on the internet so that Eddie Hall and Neil Pickup get confused. Maybe they showed us the last practice pull when Brian Shaw was actually tired, because Brian is not that good of an actor that he can fake applying 100% power and we won't notice it. Obviously we will. We can see that he was going all out against Devon. But what if that was his last practice pull and he was already gassed out? That would be the perfect situation to mislead the fans into believing that this is actually a close match, and that can be a really wise strategy. Thanks for watching. Like the video and subscribe.